Have you ever felt like you're walking on eggshells in your relationship? Like every move you make is being calculated, measured, and judged? You're not paranoid. You're experiencing one of the most sophisticated forms of psychological warfare that exists in modern relationships. And today, you're about to discover exactly how to recognize it, understand it, and most importantly, counter it with surgical precision. Every time a woman seeks control over a man, she doesn't announce it with a megaphone. She doesn't send you a formal declaration of war. No, she operates in the shadows of emotions, using weapons so subtle that most men don't even realize they're under attack until they're already defeated. Strategic silence that makes you question your worth. Emotional blackmail disguised as disappointment. The calculated withdrawal of affection that leaves you scrambling for approval. Criticisms wrapped in the silk gloves of, "I'm just trying to help you." Small behavioral punishments that train you like a circus animal. You feel it, don't you? That knot in your stomach when she goes cold. That desperate need to fix things when she pulls away. That confusion when yesterday's loving partner becomes today's emotional stranger. You're being played, and the game is rigged against you from the start. The objective is devastatingly simple: to undermine your autonomy and mold you into her ideal version of what a man should be. Not for your benefit, but for hers. If you don't understand this dynamic, you'll be led around like an emotional puppet, your strings pulled by someone who knows exactly which buttons to push to make you dance. But here's where everything changes. Today, you'll learn not just how to see through these tactics, but how to turn them completely on their head. You'll discover the Machiavellian counterattack that transforms you from prey to predator in the emotional battlefield of modern relationships. Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening when she starts her control games. You need to understand the enemy's playbook before you can defeat them. The validation withdrawal. Picture this scenario. You're having a normal day. Everything seems fine, and suddenly she becomes distant. Not angry, not sad, just absent. Her warmth disappears like morning mist. Her texts become short, clinical. Her kisses lose their passion. Her eyes look through you instead of at you. You start wondering what you did wrong. You replay every conversation, every action, searching for the mistake you must have made. You find yourself trying harder, being extra nice, bringing flowers, planning special dates. And that's exactly what she wanted. You've just handed her the remote control to your emotions. This isn't accidental. When a woman withdraws validation, she's creating an emotional vacuum that she knows you'll desperately try to fill. It's psychological physics. She creates negative space, and you rush in to occupy it, giving her exactly what she wants: your attention, your effort, your submission to her frame. The silence game. Then there's the nuclear option of female control tactics, strategic silence. She doesn't respond to your messages for hours, maybe days. She sees them. You know she's online, but she chooses to leave you hanging. Your mind starts spinning scenarios. Is she mad? Is she with someone else? Did you do something wrong? You send another message, then another. Each unanswered text makes you feel smaller, more desperate. You might even find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, just to break the silence. Congratulations, you've just given her complete emotional dominance. The silence game works because it triggers your abandonment fears. It makes you question your value. It transforms a confident man into an anxious boy seeking mommy's approval, and the longer she holds out, the more power she accumulates. Value testing through criticism. But she's not always silent. Sometimes she speaks, and when she does, her words are carefully chosen weapons. You know, Jake's boyfriend always plans such romantic dates. I wish you were more ambitious like my friend's husband. You're lucky I put up with your habits. These aren't innocent observations. They're value tests disguised as casual comments. She's probing to see how much criticism you'll absorb, how much you'll change yourself to meet her standards, how willing you are to sacrifice your identity on the altar of her approval. Most men fail these tests spectacularly. They either get defensive, which shows insecurity, or they scramble to prove they're just as good as these other men, which shows submission. Either way, she wins. She's established that her opinion of you matters more than your opinion of yourself. The false vulnerability play. Here's where it gets really sophisticated. Just when you think you're getting a handle on her games, she switches tactics completely. Suddenly, she's vulnerable. She's crying about her terrible day. She's sharing her deepest fears. She needs you to protect her, to save her, to be her hero. Your masculine instincts kick in immediately. You want to solve her problems, to be her rock, to show her she can depend on you. But watch carefully. Notice how her vulnerability always seems to appear right when you were about to set a boundary, right when you were gaining some emotional independence, right when you were about to call her out on her behavior. This false vulnerability is a trap. It's designed to activate your protector instincts and make you forget whatever boundary you were about to establish. It transforms you from a man asserting himself into a caretaker who can't possibly be mean to someone who's hurting. Control through physical intimacy. And then there's the most powerful weapon in her arsenal, the regulation of physical affection and intimacy. When she senses you're emotionally invested, she begins to control the flow of physical connection like a valve. When you comply with her wishes, the valve opens. When you resist, it closes. You had amazing chemistry at the beginning, didn't you? The passion was intense, frequent, spontaneous. But now it's conditional. Now it depends on her mood, which mysteriously seems connected to how well you're playing your assigned role. She's not always conscious of doing this. Sometimes it's an instinctive power play, a biological strategy encoded in her DNA. But conscious or not, the effect is the same. She's trained you to associate her pleasure with your compliance. The compound effect. What makes these tactics so devastating is how they work together. The withdrawal of validation makes you seek her approval. The silence game makes you fear her absence. The criticism makes you doubt your worth. The false vulnerability makes you unable to confront her. The intimacy control makes you desperate to please her. Combined, these tactics create a psychological prison where you're constantly trying to earn what should be freely given in a healthy relationship: respect, affection, and genuine connection. Now, here's where most relationship advice fails you. They'll tell you to communicate better, to be more understanding, to work on yourself. That's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. When someone is playing power games with you, the only winning move is to flip the entire board. The response isn't discussion. It's not negotiation. It's not trying to make her understand. It's the immediate and complete inversion of power dynamics. Withdraw your validation completely. She pulled away to make you chase. You don't chase. You become ice. Not angry ice. That shows you care. Neutral ice. The kind of cold that comes from genuine indifference. When she withdraws, you don't just match her withdrawal, you exceed it. She expects you to text, to call, to show up with flowers. Instead, you disappear into your life. You hit the gym harder. You reconnect with friends. You dive into your work or hobbies. You become so genuinely busy living your life that her little power play becomes irrelevant. Watch what happens. The moment she realizes her withdrawal isn't creating the usual anxiety in you, she'll feel the power dynamic shift. She'll sense that her emotional remote control has dead batteries. That's when she'll suddenly remember how much she misses you. Master the strategic silence. She used silence as a weapon. You return it as an art form. But here's the key. Your silence isn't punishment. It's priority management. You're not ignoring her to hurt her. You're simply too engaged with your own life to notice her games. When she finally reaches out, you respond eventually, briefly, politely, like someone who has more important things on his mind. Because you do. Your silence communicates that your world doesn't revolve around her emotional weather patterns. Break the dependency chain. This is the nuclear option of male power dynamics. You must demonstrate, not declare, but demonstrate that your happiness, peace, and stability exist independently of her. This isn't about being cruel, it's about being complete. Start making decisions without consulting her. Plan activities without including her. Develop interests she's not part of. Build a life so rich and fulfilling that her presence becomes a nice addition rather than a necessity. When she realizes she's not your emotional oxygen supply, the entire dynamic shifts. A woman who can't control your emotional state has no power over you. Display your options. Women have an almost supernatural ability to sense when a man has options. Not just romantic options, though those matter too, but life options, career opportunities, social circles, adventures, purposes that exist beyond the relationship. You don't need to flirt with other women or threaten to leave. That's amateur hour. You simply need to be a man who clearly has places to go, people to see, and things to accomplish. A man whose life would continue to be awesome with or without her. When she senses you're not mentally available for her games because you're genuinely engaged with life, her entire strategy collapses. You can't control someone who doesn't need you. The subtle ego attack. Here's the most Machiavellian tactic of all. When she creates drama, you treat it like a child's tantrum, not with anger, but with bemused detachment. When she's fishing for compliments, you give them with the enthusiasm of someone reading a grocery list. When she tries to make you jealous, you respond with genuine happiness for her social life. Oh, Jake took his girlfriend to Paris. That's nice. Hey, did you see the game last night? This subtle dismissal of her emotional manipulation attempts doesn't just neutralize them, it reverses them. She expected an emotional reaction. Your emotional flatline tells her that her usual weapons are useless against you. The power of unpredictability. The final element of your counterattack is strategic unpredictability. Women control men by making them predictable. She knows if she withdraws, you'll chase. She knows if she cries, you'll comfort. She knows if she criticizes, you'll improve, break the pattern. Sometimes respond to her withdrawal by being extra social. Sometimes respond to her criticism with laughter. Sometimes respond to her silence with gratitude for the peace and quiet. When she can't predict your reactions, she can't control your actions. Here's the golden rule that will transform your entire relationship dynamic. Whoever controls their own emotions controls the game. The moment you stop reacting and start positioning yourself, you shatter the manipulative dynamic at its very foundation. Every attempt she makes to exercise control transforms into silent desperation on her part. She'll pull out every trick in the book, escalate her tactics, maybe even accuse you of not caring anymore. This is the extinction burst of her control mechanisms. Stay the course. She'll have two choices: align herself with your terms and become a genuine partner instead of a puppet master, or remove herself from the game entirely. And here's the beautiful truth: both outcomes are victories for you. If she chooses to stay and respect your boundaries, you've gained a real partner who values you for who you are, not who she can mold you into. If she chooses to leave, you've freed yourself from someone who only wanted a controllable accessory, not a real man. Your peace is not negotiable. Your freedom is not for sale. Your value is not determined by her approval. The man who truly understands this doesn't just resist female manipulation, he becomes immune to it. You see, the greatest power isn't in winning her games, it's in refusing to play them at all. When you operate from a position of complete self-sufficiency, emotional independence, and genuine purpose, you become the kind of man who doesn't need to use tactics because your very presence commands respect. This isn't about becoming cold or cruel. It's about becoming complete. It's about recognizing that the only person responsible for your emotional state is you. It's about understanding that love freely given is beautiful, but affection used as currency is manipulation. Now you've seen behind the curtain. You understand the subtle tactics, the emotional leverages, the psychological pressures. More importantly, you understand how to neutralize them all with one simple shift: from reactive to proactive, from dependent to independent, from boy seeking approval to man living his truth. So tell me, have you experienced these control tactics in your relationships? Have you felt that suffocating pressure to conform, to chase, to beg for what should be freely given? Comment below with your story. Like this video if it opened your eyes to dynamics you felt but couldn't articulate. Subscribe to this channel because we're just scratching the surface of male empowerment in modern relationships. And don't forget to check out our previous videos. They contain equally powerful truths that mainstream society doesn't want you to know. Remember, gentlemen, you're never more than one decision away from reclaiming your power. That decision is to stop playing by rules designed to defeat you and start living by principles designed to elevate you. Your frame, your life, your terms, always.